I feel like Titan's never going to accurately be rated. You know what I mean? Like, what else do they need to do? Like, they finish second, and we're still like, oh, man, this team's the best, right? Like,
Titan, no, I mean, I think that I think that they've earned their stripes at this point. I think the Trig is definitely looking like the strongest team out of the qualifiers, but I don't know if I'm calling them better than Titan right now, given their World Championship position.
Titan has to be number 2.
Although I can tell you that Ataraxia, I don't think that I'm rooting for them if he's picking Thanatos.
Well,
and we'll
Ataraxia, he does have a lot of brothers.
He's got a lot of brothers. Got a lot of mouths to feed in that family.
He's got to feed some people, man. So that's big. He might have a kid. Right? Like we don't know what Ataraxia is doing.
Even though there's a documentary on Ataraxia, pretty sure that he has an older brother.
Older brother named
All right, so enough with the banter, Scott. Let's go ahead and move into the picking and banning phase. Trig Esports at the top of your screen, London Conspiracy at the bottom. The bans for Trig are Cupid and Athena, Bakasar and Aokwang removed, and that is like, we don't want Xaylia to win. Just outright. I can guarantee you, even though I have absolutely no information to indicate this is the case, that is because Xaylia plays Aokwang in the solo lane.
Yeah, Aokwang in the solo lane is pretty much I eat you. If you're a warrior,
well, it's like Bakasura. It's just like Bakasura, man. It's just like
he's Mage Bakasura. Yeah. But like if you go for like a tanky team with like someone with a lot of health, the execute is so beneficial for you. So Xbalanque getting picked up in the first draft, no shocker at all.
Oh, geez, Louise. Okay, this is
oh god,
this is bad news.
That's not good.
So you have Thor and Osiris. So Xbalanque first pick. We've seen him banned in basically every game so far. Yep. He's the top left position, looking around the Jaguar Hunter out of the Mayan pantheon. Xbalanque hits like a truck. He scales exceptionally well. He has some great laning spells. Not so great for clearing, but great to aggress. And London Conspiracy picks 2 melee physical cores versus probably the hardest hitting god in the entire game from range. And to compensate, or I'm sorry, to kind of build upon that Xbalanque base, they have Nemesis, who's going to be stripping away protections, and a Vamana, who scales probably number 3 or 4 in terms of hard carries for physical damage late into the game. So basically, both of these core physical carries in Xbalanque and Vamana will be hitting for true damage in the team fights on whomever Nemesis ultimates. Now, London Conspiracy has a traditionally extremely strong draft. And they'll take Scylla, Osiris, Thor, which is by no means not extremely potent, but it's not quite as all in, but also safe somehow as what Trig has done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a no-brainer for Trig Esports. They're going to grab Lobster, or they're going to grab Lobster. They're going to grab Agni, which is referred to as Lobster, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I understand the Giannis. You don't want to go against it, but at the same time, I'd rather go against a Giannis than an Agni with someone who's respected to be the best player.
Especially considering, like, I think it's actually a pretty big misdraft, or misban rather, I guess, by London Conspiracy here to ban that Giannis. I think you're right on the money there. What they really needed was something to help them control team fights. Vamana, Nemesis, Xbalanque, none of them really great at team fighting besides Vamana once he has 6 items and he just stomps on everybody.
Yeah.
And they need CC desperately, range CC. And they get Agni, and now they get Amir. So they basically were able to supplement their early, very, very greedy draft, and the ban just wasn't the right ban. Giannis, a single-target CC'er and a mobility-based god, not something they really needed. It would have been a much thinner and more difficult playstyle for Trig to do that than the Agni Amir. And now on the side of LC, they take the Geb, helping them out with their team fight, but their team fight already is really strong. They have Scylla, Osiris, Thor, all very good control-based gods for fighting. And you know, now they're trying to compensate for damage and in their lineup. But, like, what does this squad do that LC has? They team fight fairly well. They don't take objectives particularly well.
It's a setup for Scylla. It's
a big Scylla
setup for Scylla.
That's right. And the Neath here, I mean, it synergizes well with the Thor. It's so momentum-based for LC, though. That's what I'm concerned about, is that they have a crazy momentum-based lineup versus Trig, who can just sit back and farm. And if Trig is winning the early game, forget about it.
Well, that's what I want to point out here is early on, Ymir, Xbalanque, and Agni are going to go through red and purple very, very fast, and that wave's going to be shoved. Yeah, you're going to see the full advantage that Order side has on the duo side, which they've always kind of had, and you're just going to kind of see how strong that push is, unless they go for some kind of crazy invade. But I really don't know how London Conspiracy is going to handle that. I mean, it's not like Scylla's going to be okay, Emilzy and like Geb's going to be okay, but their only real clear is like Neath that they have like in this early game. It's going to be a very, very slow
They got outdrafted. Bad.
Yeah. Flat. Like
this is a tough game for them.
I love this skin. This is one of my favorite skins.
Taco Demon?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
It looks really, really good. I mean, it's no Dreadbeard, but
No.
what is.
Yeah, that's true.
Which might have been the better pick is actually Poseidon instead of the Scylla. With all the setup potential, looking at it, Kraken's very easily hit in Cataclysm, as well as it's easily set up with Tectonic Rift.
It's kind of like what we said. Very simply, Trig Esports has excellent level 1 and kind of to like level 3, and then superior late game. Well, London Conspiracy, they have plenty of power through the early and mid stages of the game, but they have to snowball really, really well to take this game late. They need to be probably 10,000 gold ahead by the 30-minute mark, or this is going to be really difficult for them.
What a ballsy ward by London Conspiracy. Yeah, you see all the ward right in between the old school ward that gives you information on what used to be the blue buff and now is the purple buff. That's something that, like, you have to go through the danger zone to get there. Very, very ballsy call, but we're going to see. I'm very interested to see how far Trix Tank and Funballer can shove this duo lane up. You can already see that they've shredded through the red buff. They're now on the purple buff, and they might actually get to lane around the exact same time.
Well, let's go ahead and introduce the teams here as we see the buffs being picked up. It's Trig Esports on the blue side of the map, bottom side of the minimap, and left side of your spectator UI. It's going to be Zalia playing the Vamana in the solo lane, Cuvo Fred in the jungle as Nemesis. You have Lobster mid laning as we see here versus that Scylla on the Agni. It's Trix Tank and Funballer in the duo lane as Amir and Shivalanke. They'll be going up against London Conspiracy, wearing the red trunks on the top side of the map. It's Snakeskin in the solo yet again on Osiris. Red Foo in the jungle is Thor. Suntouch mid lane as Scylla. Emilzy and Shaggy Shank will be the left side duo lane as Geb and Neath. Ooh. And, well, taking a bit of damage is Lobster's mid lane Agni from that hammer. Mjolnir's attunement thrown by Thor there. A lot of damage in the first about 4 or 5 minutes of the game. Got to be real careful fighting against the Thor.
Yeah, you always have to worry about Thor. And the big thing about Thor is his passive. The more enemy gods who are around him, the more power he gets, which just makes it so like he wants to fight at all times. And as we take a look at the duo lane, no real shocker that this wave shoved all the way up to the tower. Ymir has insane clear, especially early on. It's hard to fight, but take a look at mid lane. Lobster.
One more in hand. Will Fred get it? No, Slice and Dice not available again. Amir's rotating in. They're going to be able to muscle Thor out of this lane. But can they really get much out of this? They can maybe look for a backside XP camp to snag or get for free. Funballer in a bit of trouble as well. Neath, only level 3, no ultimate. Amir, do you have a blink, buddy? Oh, no, he has not loaded out with a blink. He'll be getting that sooner rather than later to be sure of that, but it doesn't matter. So Shaggy Shank's going to go down as Shibalike comes forward with a Rising Jaguar as well, and there's the power of Amir. The 3-2 combo, 1-2 punch, and down goes the Neath. First blood, Trig Esports.
Ymir is just very, very strong. No matter what, especially in Europe as well. People in Europe know how strong Ymir is, whereas in North America, people kind of tend to lean more towards, like,
First blood, Amir, nonetheless. Yeah. Cooldown boots done. 2,500 net worth at 2 minutes. And it's a lot of times why you see Amir banned in Europe and against European teams. He's going to have a very easy time of snowballing this game. Already has his core done. Like, he's ready. He's got cooldown boots and Blink 1. Like, Amir is ready for the rest of this game right now. And his casually building a defense items. That's the rest of his game
And with
plan.
his passive that just naturally gives him, like, 100 health every level.
It's literally like...
He can go Voidstone next. He doesn't have to do anything.
Some items that have defensive stats for the next 25 minutes, and you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
He's already got everything else ready to go. It's
now,
scary stuff.
Ideally, you would really want to have Shibalake get that. Also notice Shibalake starting here. He's going to be rushing this Transcendence, which is something that I expected to see a lot more of yesterday, especially from the Ulers. And a lot of people are like not sold on it, but the damage you can output is insane, especially in Shibalake.
To be perfectly honest with you, the way that this game is kind of set up to play, as the first Shibalake Ultimate comes out, no real initiation going to follow it up, is that I think you may rather have the first blood on Amir. Shibalake is going to have plenty of time to farm. London Conspiracy can't force team fights that early on with their lineup. They need the Thor to be level 5. They need Scylla as well, as Geb is going to get exploded and Mealsy blown up by that first blink out of Trix Tank. And as you can see, the Amir, such a great early game dominator, that it's just going to allow them to get ahead. And as we mentioned during the draft, if Trig Esports is ahead going into the mid-game, London Conspiracy can't touch them.
Yeah, they really can't do anything. One thing that jumps out to me immediately here is the fact that Vamana, a.k.a. Zalia, started off with Frostbound Hammer, not worrying about much of anything else. Now, the Blink's going to be down. Neath should know that, but mid lane, they still have kill potential. You can see how good Agni is at setting up Nemesis, and Nemesis, who's known for having kind of like a weak early game, and it's really about the mid, she's going to be online very soon.
Yeah, she's going to be fine. She's not going to need her chin size to have an impact on this game. Just the boot should be enough to start setting things up with her ultimate. Frostbound Hammer completely finished onto Zalia. Not that often we see this build, but it'll be fine against Osiris, who won't have really any kill potential whatsoever against the Vamana unless it's just a straight outplay. Transcendence completed now, around the 4-minute mark for Xbalanque. Not a bad timing. Dev's Glove's not up for Neath yet, but she does have the Bluestone Pendant. Of course, with Transcendence, you have effectively infinite mana, so you won't need that mana starting item.
This right here might be the deciding factor in the mid lane, especially in the early game that I just noticed, is that no Tiny Trinket on Scylla basically means that it's going to be very hard for her to clear, even though she already has a very difficult time as well. So now she's going to be losing the ability to kind of control the lane with auto-attacking and then just using the Crush to destroy it.
Well, I think she has to respect this roaming Trix tank Amir, right? Has to get those beads, because if she doesn't have the beads, it's a free kill.
Yeah, she has
over
to have
and over and over again.
She has to have the beads, and now she's got CDR boots as well, which not the biggest fan of, but it is going to help her out to kind of get more Sentinels out there so she can just live.
It's not helping her survivability that much having cooldown boots, certainly. In theory, it helps her follow up and rotate a bit more, but they haven't gotten much pressure out of Red Foo's Thor. In fact, Red Foo having not a great showing today so far. He hit a Mjolnir's attunement early on in the middle lane, and now has been pretty much silent and has started to fall behind, now 2 levels behind the Nemesis. A Wheelix game, last game, wasn't that great either for him. And we really need to see him pressuring one of these lanes quickly, and it looks like it's going to start here and now as he's looking to line up an ult out of the Gold Fury. They have a Sentry Ward there as well, but Xbalanque too far back, nothing cooking, and he's spotted out by that ward just off of the mid lane as well. So
this is also a very hard team for a Thor to gank. I mean, when you look, mid lane, dash, duo lane, you got to dash.
No, it's Xbalanque. Xbalanque is not hard to kill. I mean, as
be.
Thor, you ult him, you smack him around, he uses his Rising Jaguar, which takes him about 30 feet from you, and then you wall and you Mjolnir's attunement and Berserker barrage him. I mean, like,
I think he's more afraid of the follow-up from Trix tank.
The biggest thing to be worried about is that you get really worried when the Xbalanque just doesn't even try to run for you.
Oh, that's big.
Fighting. Yeah, this is a big initiation. The Xbalanque ultimate's out as well, causing a lot of disruption. Emilzy's going to eat all of that Amir ultimate, basically a full channel there. In the mid lane is the Vamana forcing Scylla all the way out, and this could very well be the Gold Fury going the way of Trig Esports. 6.5 minutes in, Shaggy Shank being run down. Trix Tank's going to have another freeze up in just a moment. There's a slice of dice for the slow. They're stacking it up perfectly. The bomb over the top, and Trig Esports with the absolutely perfect execution there. You saw Cuba Fred holding that slice and dice, waiting until the Amir had the stun up to slow him down, secure that one, and it's a free and quick Gold Fury. 6 minutes, 50 seconds. They took that thing down in about 30 seconds, and it's 4,000 experience, 3,000 gold going to the side of Trig. Pre-10 minutes here, this one is very one-sided.
I think this is kind of what we all expected out of Trig Esports as well. Trig Esports, not only are they a powerhouse, but we hyped them up a lot. Now, on top of that, my player to watch, just like looking at this game, has been Trix Tank the entire time. This Ymir, his positioning has been flawless. He's been doing all of the right things. He's 2-0-2 with CDR boots. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's
the biggest part of this team right now.
He's basically just a fifth core at this point.
Whoa. What is Nemesis going to build into? What is that going to be building into?
That's going to be probably Nick File, right?
Nickable?
Yeah, Iqbal.
You think so? Is that worth?
Yep, she finishes it off.
Yeah?
Oh, absolutely. Nemesis is definitely a stand and fight kind of god. Retribution Shield, very good, allowing her to just in-hand for a little bit longer.
It's the first time we've seen this.
And so she's going to be able to just fight it out. Plus the item gives decent penetration, which is fine for her. The one thing it doesn't give her is power. And while she does do quite a lot of damage with her abilities, this will allow her to really stay in the face of the Osiris and Thor, most importantly, who would definitely bully her around a bit without this or a very, very early shifter shield. So
I
like
don't
the
think we've seen a single Thor ultimate now that we're thinking of it. And as soon as I say that, Red Foo is getting ready to go. He really has to commit.
Rising Jaguar used and committed, but no. The Amir he saw on the rotation, and he goes back to mid to just farm against the Agni. And, well, he's going to force to eat. Actually, a pretty fancy Mjolnir's attunement there. No Agni Bomb connecting.
Yeah, very, very good Mjolnir's attunement. And now, Lobster, has he had any trouble with Sun Touch here? I mean, Sun Touch, he doesn't have Bancrofts online yet. And now when you look across, Agni's going to go right into Bancrofts. And then from there, he's going to go Spear. And it's just going to be like, oh, how do you deal with me? You can't.
Right.
I'm Agni.
And look, here we go. Freezing the lane is Trig Esports. Brilliant play. And now they have the opportunity to find the kill on Emilzy yet again. They're just going to bully him out. And the Amir ultimate, boom, goes the dynamite, and down goes the Geb Emilzy.
Beautiful.
Picked up cleanly here. No great objective they can go for now that this tank is down, but they can push this tier 1 at least. And they're going to take the speed buff as well. Lobster was just right on the mark. And Funballer, smart stuff to freeze that lane. You saw him standing there, not in-handing at all. And, well, London Conspiracy caught sleeping by what looks to be the superior Trig Esports.
Oh, so, I mean, I haven't seen anything a part of this game, and like anything in this game that says London Conspiracy can compete with Trig Esports right now. Like, not only did they get out-drafted, but they're getting outplayed, and that's really just because London Conspiracy's trying to do something. Like, they have to try to do something right now, and they can't.
Well, they're not getting any pressure out of the mid. Lobster's had the better rotations now, is a level ahead. Suntouch not putting a lot of pressure out. Red Fu, no momentum at all. Seems a little bit of trepidation, a little bit of he's thinking a little bit. It seems like more so they're just flowing, right? And with Thor, it's so momentum based. You really need to just have it all work for you and be confident. And it's not the case for Red Fu right now. And Emilzi's getting bullied as well on the Geb, which is going to make it hard for them to take team fights. And on Trig Esports side, it's kind of coming up all spades for them. They have 3 kills on their Amir in the early stages. He's going to have a very early winged wand. It's going to make these rotations even better, even faster. It's the rush Bancroft's talent, no problem on top of cooldown. Boots for the Agni. He's having just a ball in the mid lane. No pressure whatsoever. While Trix tank, you can see here as the Amir is just bringing such a threat.
This
is
might
going to be a big fight.
Yeah,
you can see him falling to the Agni bomb. Shibalaki ultimate used as well. And now it's Osiris caught out. Thor's going to come back in at some point, but it's not going to be enough to save the Osiris. Ultimate coming out as well. Lord of the Afterlight's there. Tether's going to proc. Doesn't matter. Down goes Snakeskin. And this game very heavily still trending in favor of Trig Esports. They built a 4K lead. Gold Fury back up in about 25 seconds now. No, I'm sorry, about a minute now.
Wow! No, they did it.
Burst.
Curtains, man. That was beautiful.
That's the best reaction.
Trix tank caught him sleeping.
Oh, no, they didn't.
No, Trix tank caught him sleeping right there. That was fantastic. And throughout this entire time, it's been an early game stomp, but like Zillia hasn't needed to rotate at all, which gives Vamana all the farm in the world, and he's just rotating because he wants to.
Yeah, lest we forget, Vamana is going to bring a tremendous amount of carry potential. Basically, once he finishes Sprint 3 and even half of any damage item, he's going to be able to start killing gods in this game. And look how far ahead Funballer is.
Dude.
Just smacking around the knee. And here's the Amir. She avoids it with a backflip. Geb's going to move forward here. They may actually find a return kill here. Trix tank. Thor hasn't gone up yet. They bring their Scylla as well. Yeah, this has got to be a kill. And, well, it's a consolation prize. 9-1 now in favor of Trig Esports. 11.5 minutes in. The gold lead is pushing 5K now. It's a little bit tough now for London Conspiracy to figure it out, but it should probably start here with Snakeskin and the Osiris. He has a pretty good bid to be the way they make it back into this game. Osiris commands a lot of respect and is the top level on the side of London Conspiracy.
That Gold Fury just scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, coming back in.
You know, looking at it, Nemesis is going to have to just focus Divine Judgment right on Osiris, a.k.a. Snakeskin, which seems to be the only real port here. Ultimate comes down from Funballer. He's got one. Lobster gets another one, and now they're going to probably turn on Suntouch here. Suntouch could be in a lot of trouble. He really needs to have some peel here. And now Red Food started it up, and now he's going to use Mjolnir's Attunement. He went very deep. Look at Slice and Dice.
Not enough damage, though. The level advantage from Cuba Fred going to keep him alive through that ultimate, and Lobster cleans that up.
Surrender vote.
Prior to that last engagement, where he was dead, Trix tank